But what happened was, when I went into public ministry, I started a podcast, and I would have guests on, some of whom agreed with me and were presenting views I did hold, but others who were coming on the show to present views that I didn't personally believe, but that I considered within the pale of orthodoxy. And one of those guests I had on was the now late Edward Fudge. He had just published the 3rd edition of The Fire That Consumes. And in the process of preparing for and conducting that 2-hour-long interview, I went from being firmly convinced of the doctrine of eternal torment and having no problems with it to finding myself very much on the fence now, because his positive case from Scripture I found very compelling, and his answers to the many, many, many objections that I raised in the interview were also very compelling. And so I found
Okay, and like I said, I agree. But there's issues that weren't being dealt with. And it's these issues that actually, like I said, override. One is, you always say hell, but what about the lake of fire? Do you really believe, or are these synonymous terms? If they're synonymous terms, then there's technically taken out of hell with the resurrection unto condemnation, thrown back into hell. Or do you take the Bible and you say, hey, it says hell, which is also, again, where you see Hades, and in the Old Testament, Sheol, because Sheol is just the place of the dead, which equates, and then the lake of fire being separate, not combining them. Because if hell and death are thrown into the lake of fire, that to me says, hey, the lake of fire is not hell. And that, like I said, these type of things create a huge issue with